Starting with butterfly crunches, we're going to go for 45 seconds, and then in 15 seconds we're going to have to rest and transition into our next activity. So again, if you don't know what this is or have never done it before, you'll start in that butterfly stretch position. Feet are flat against each other, knees are out. This should work the lower abdominal muscles, ones that you might not have worked before, but are definitely used on a daily basis, especially depending on your sport. We're 30 seconds in, so she's going to work for 15 more seconds before we transition. 10 seconds left here. The transition is going to be into bicycle abs. We're going to start with bicycle on the left side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, this 15 seconds is placed in for a rest period if you need it, which you may sooner than later. But also getting into that next position if it goes up, down, plank, moving around, things like that. We'll start in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. As you see, she's bringing that opposite elbow to that opposite knee, where we're focusing on just the one side to start with, and we'll work into the right side after this. She's controlling her breathing. Hands are gently placed on the back of her head, not cranking on her neck. Neutral spine. Really working through that full range of motion and then extending fully back out. We're 30 seconds through this, so she's going to go for another 15 seconds and then get to that rest and transition period again before we move into the bicycles on the right side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll stop there. Again, our next activity is going to be bicycles on the right side. If you've done bicycles before, it'll feel similar to this, but it's just an advanced work, plus you're working one side and then the other. Start in 2, 1, bicycles on the right side. So that left elbow will come up, tap or get past that right knee depending on your level of flexibility in these exercises. Controlling your breathing. Without even recognizing you're using your hip flexor on that right side as you drive that knee up towards you. That elbow and the knee are kind of meeting right there in between where they started from. We're 30 seconds in, so we'll go 15 more seconds on this and then transition. Our next exercise is going to be leg lifts. So 10 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, that 15 seconds transition, you can rest. If you need water, depending on where you decided to do this ab set within your workout, feel free to grab it. This is the only thing you're doing today. Let's make sure we push ourselves for the next set of exercises. We'll start with leg lifts in 3, 2, 1. Focus here is to make sure you try to suck that core down to the floor. That lower back should be fairly flat. If there's still an arch, you might start to have some back problems, which we don't want to have. So making sure that that core stays contracted throughout. If you need to rest, rest at the bottom. One thing we'll always say is if you need to take a quick break to make sure that your form stays as good as it can be, that's better than allowing your form to sway because you're getting tired. So see the contraction of the legs as they go up and down. Heels are never actually touching the ground. Obviously that increases the difficulty of this test. We'll go 5 more seconds here and then go into our transition. 3, 2, 1. Next thing is going to be leg extensions. We'll start the leg extensions in 5. And go. Again, she'll start in that seated position. Heels are never touching the ground. Chest high. Obviously, she has her hands on the floor here. Depending on the how you want to advance the exercise, the hands could come up. It could start to look something like a hug the world or whatever you may have called it before. The goal here is to obviously work the hip flexor, work that lower abdominal wall. This is going to be big, especially for sports like soccer, people that use their legs, any sport that includes running. These are all good exercises to do to make sure that that core is tight. Obviously, it contracts with each of these exercises, but the stronger it can be, the better we're going to be overall since it connects our upper and lower body. 3, 2, 1. Good there. Our next exercise is going to be ankle grabbers. So we'll use this as a transition. We'll start in 5 more seconds and go to ankle grabbers. 3, 2, 1. Really working these external obliques, that neutral spine. She's going to try to relax her neck just a little bit. The tendency is always to come up and towards it because that's what you're trying to reach for with those hands. You'll see her alternating her hands, trying to reach out and touch her heels here, grab her ankles, so to speak. 20 seconds in, so she's going to do this for another 25 seconds, and then we'll take that rest and transition. It's 10 seconds. Keep working. Keep controlling that breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll rest here. Transitioning into V-ups. We'll go ahead and start those. 3, 2, 1. Okay, when you start here, your body's going to be fully extended. Arms are reached all the way out. Feet are reached all the way out. And then you're going to meet at the top. You can advance this exercise if she had access to a med ball or a light dumbbell that she felt comfortable with. She could put that in her hands, carry it all the way back, and then meet her knees or her toes, depending on her flexibility, at the top of the range. We're 35 seconds in, so we're going to go 10 more seconds here before we transition. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She's got a break, and we're going to transition into straight leg crunches. We'll start those in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right into that straight leg crunch. The goal is obviously to lock those knees out, have those legs as straight as possible. This will be dependent on the amount of flexibility you have in your hamstrings. She'll start each crunch with her back flat. Neck is staying in that neutral spine. She's not reaching her head towards her toes as well. She's keeping it in neutral spine with the rest of her body as she crunches up and just really reaching out with her hands. Similar to the last exercise, adding a med ball or a dumbbell can increase the intensity of the work. We'll go for 5 more seconds here before we transition. 3, 2, 1. We're going to transition into pikes. We'll start pikes in about 3, 2, 1. So reaching with that opposite hand to touch that opposite foot. Starting with your back flat on the ground, your arms straight out, legs straight out. Really expanding. You can take a big deep breath if you need to before you start the next exercise. Really contracting your core separately each time that she goes up and into the pike. We're 30 seconds in here, so another 15 of these pikes, and then we'll move into rest and transition. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She'll rest and go into single leg drops. We'll start those in 3, 2, 1, go. And you'll see here, her heels are never going to touch the ground. Obviously, that adds to the intensity of the activity. Legs are going to start straight, heels pointing up towards the ceiling. One leg is going to remain while the other leg drops. If you need that reminder, you can always put your hands on your core, feeling them activate every time you let that leg drop. Again, your back should be pretty flat to the floor here, controlling that breathing. Again, a good use of that lower abdominal wall as well as the hip flexors. We'll go 10 more seconds here with a single leg drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to transition into oblique chinnies. Only 2 exercises left, so we're really going to focus on our form here. We might be getting a little bit tired depending on if this is the only thing we've done or if this is the end of our workout today. So we'll start with oblique chains here. Again, starting in that body's completely flat to the ground. Hand placement on the back of the head is gentle. She's not cranking on her neck. She's going to come up with that opposite elbow to the opposite knee, meeting at the top, and then alternating throughout. We're going to go 20 more seconds here, really focusing on the work of the obliques. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to rest and transition into ab hold. This will be our last activity. So we're really going to work for this 45 seconds. We'll start in 3, 2, 1 for the ab hold. Again, you'll see your body in that C position. Legs are straight out, arms are straight up. Feeling her core contract. It's obviously an isometric hold. A lot of times people tend to stop breathing when they hold something isometrically, so the focus here is to continue our breathing. Keep that isometric hold. We're 25 seconds in, so we'll go for another 20 seconds here. Again, this is the last activity of our 12-minute ab workout. So really keeping that form, keeping that breathing controlled. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One quick thing that you can do at the end of any ab workout is roll over onto your stomach. Lay flat on your stomach there, and then keeping your hips on the ground, you're going to go ahead and just press up with your hands. So if your hands and your thumbs are near your ears, yes, you'll press up. Hold at the top, just let everything stretch out just a little bit. Obviously, if you do 12 minutes straight of some work for your ab, you want to make sure that you take care of it as well so that it's not as sore and tight the next day. So doing this for about 10 seconds at a time, maybe 5 sets, you should feel that group that just got worked relax just a little bit, and then you're able to go on to the next thing without risk of injury. Should be good too.